Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. Today will be the first show of season 10 of the When I Have Spare Time podcast, the Liceo season. Um, Once again, Liceo is a Korean K pop idol. She's in the group IVE. It's spelled IVE. I don't know, or I didn't see. Well, you know how K-pop groups, everyone has a position. I couldn't find out, or I didn't see what position she is. But I mean, she could be a visual. Obviously, every girl that I've chosen to be the title of each season has been, a really good-looking idol, and most notably, one I want to have sex with. That's pretty much the criteria to be chosen. You have to be really good looking, and you have to be someone that causes sexual thoughts in my head. Anyway, so Lee Seo from IVE, she will be the chick used in the thumbnails. Anyway, but no, I recommend checking out the group IVE, and the main reason why is it's another one of those K-pop groups where if you don't like K-pop, you can turn the sound down and still watch the members, and you'll be very entertained. That's one thing about K-pop. For men and women, because they got good-looking guys too. So like if you're a chick and you know don't like the music, you can turn the sound down. There's plenty of groups like this, okay? But anyway, IVE is one of those groups. You can turn down the volume and just watch their music videos, and you'll still be entertained. If you're a guy who's into hot chicks, most guys are. Even if you're MGTOW, you can still look at a hot chick. Okay. Anyway, on to less important stuff. So Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage. Now, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I've never feared being physically attacked. Now, I've done stand-up. God, like, I remember I did stand-up at a Halloween party. You guys remember that TV show on cable? It was called The Girls Next Door. It was about it was back when Hugh Hefner had three wives, and so it would follow around the three wives. Anyway, I was friends with a couple of the butlers who worked at the Playboy Mansion, and so on Reddit, some of those butlers became famous. So they're like like G-list celebrities, and so like one of the butlers went on Reddit, and he was keeping up with like the thread about him, and so he had a party at his house, and he's like, yeah, I'm the butler from whatever the show, or like one of the butlers from the show, and like so he had a party at his house, and he had like a couple hundred people over. Um, well, let me get the exact number. It was about 150 people over, roughly. Okay, well, I didn't count. It was between 150 and 200 people. That's why I said a couple hundred. Whatever. Anyway, so I did a stand up at that get together because when you have parties, it's fashionable to have entertainment. If especially when you have a big party like that, and it's a great way to get everyone together. To gather up. Now, obviously, there's no stage there. The stage was the house itself. So everyone's gathered in one area. The way the house was shaped, it was kind of like I don't know. I guess the den slash kitchen is like one giant room plus kind of like the outside. I don't know. Like it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm kind of in the middle, and I'm surrounded by all these people. Okay, now I knew who I knew what the racial makeup was gonna be at this party beforehand because I knew some of the people because I wanted like to prepare jokes. So it was gonna be mostly almost like split down the middle of like Jewish people and Mexicans. Well, I'm assuming Mexicans. I didn't check their green card. Usually, if a green card is wearing a sombrero, it's Mexican. But if a green card has bullet holes, it's El Salvador. But anyway, I digress. Oh, and if a green card has oil stains on it, it's Venezuela. Anyway, so I knew that there was going to be a high population of Jews and Mexicans at this party. So what do? I work on racist material for Jews and Mexicans. And I opened up the party. There was a Jewish girl there. Her name was Dana. And I started off the party with walking with my arm around her into the party because, well, I liked her, so I would touch her a lot. That's why. But anyway, I walked in with my arm around her, and I told the most racist Jewish joke ever. And it was so racist, and I actually forgot the joke. I mean, it had something to do with money. It was like money and it was like money and anteaters. So you can guess. Oh, and I had prop too, like I threw some money on the ground. Anyway, it was so racist. Like I remember one girl's mouth opened up. She's like, "What?" And like another guy like slammed his drink on the table. Like, "What? How could you say that?" Okay. Basically, it was racist. People were like, "What the fuck?" And she laughed her ass off. She was laughing her ass off. And I knew she would laugh her ass off. And because she was laughing her ass off, the whatever 7 second, not 7 second, the 5 seconds of what the fuck you're racist slowly turned into a sea of laughter. Okay? And then I patted her on the ass and I said, "Thanks. Thanks for participating." And then she went to the crowd and started watching the rest of the show. In current day, if I would have told that joke on stage, I would have been charged with sexual harassment, and someone would have came on stage and hit me. Some like super Jew, or like Mexican that actually didn't have an accent would have came up on stage and like did a Will Smith or whatever. Because in current day, people are sensitive snowflakes. Hell, by calling someone a sensitive snowflake, you're gonna get attacked apparently. But anyway, so like Dave Chappelle was on the stage when Hollywood Bowl, and the guy like, no, I mean I didn't really see it. I just saw some guy lunge at Dave Chappelle, try to tackle him. Dave Chappelle got tackled, but Dave Chappelle looked like he sidestepped the guy, but apparently whatever. So like Dave Chappelle gets tackled, and there's no security near him, but the guy who tackled him, he gets rushed, and then there's actually guests backstage come and rush him too. So like Jon Stewart was one of the guys. Anyway, basically like 14 people surround the guy that attacked Dave Chappelle and stomped him. Okay, and apparently Jon Stewart was one of the people stomping the guy, which I just think is hilarious. Little Jon Stewart. But anyway, the guy's arm was broken. It looked disgusting. Like he got beat up really bad. Like the whole right side of his face. Like you could tell that like the left side of his face was on the ground, and they stomped the right side of his body. Cause like the right side of, I mean like the right side of his body looked like Two-Face. The Batman bad guy. Yeah, looked like Two-Face. Like his right arm was broken. His right side of his face was swollen. The left side of his face was fine. It looked like two different people. But I'm like, if you're gonna tackle someone like Dave Chappelle, like I mean, like unless Dave Chappelle has some kind of martial arts background, like Dave Chappelle took that one like a pro. You know, because that guy was coming hard. Anyway, the guy attacked Dave Chappelle because he didn't like Dave Chappelle's past trans jokes. Dave Chappelle's jokes about the transgendered. Those T people. Like the boys that think they're girls and the girls that think they're boys. Those transformers. Yeah. Um, there's a lot to make fun of when it comes to people in general. Whether you're straight, whether you're straight and like Asian girls like I do, whether you're a lesbian and like to lick whipped cream off your partner. It doesn't matter. Whether you're just like your typical American, 2.1 kids, white picket fence. Whether you're a swinger. Whether you're a gay guy who likes furries. All, every person I just named, I could make 1,000 jokes about. But for some reason, oh, and of course, Dave Chappelle can make 10,000 jokes about everyone I just said. But for some reason, when you make fun of the trans people, it's offensive. But you can make jokes about whatever, a nerdy white guy all day. Oh, it's fine. You can make jokes about like some gangster black guy all day. You can make jokes about some housewife who pops pills all day. That's okay. But a trans person, oh no, it doesn't make any sense. And like of all the sexualities or whatever it's trans is trans is a mental disorder. But anyway, out of all the out of all the special categories people want to be under, the trans category, if you don't understand why a person can tell jokes about that, then you just don't belong. Okay? If I can, as a comedian, because I am, tell 35 jokes about a straight guy, I can make 95 jokes, almost 96, 95 jokes about a guy pretending to be a girl or a girl pretending to be a guy. Trust me, there's a lot more jokes right there. Because first of all, the concept's a joke. Especially for both of them. Dude, like, have you ever seen the trans guys, like the women pretending to be a guy? It's very unsettling. Very unsettling. There's something really weird about a woman pretending to be a guy when it's just so obvious it's a girl. Because you're like, wow, you're like, because especially when it's like a skinny guy, you're like, wow, you're a very um you're a chick pretending to be a guy. I mean, like, that's what you're saying in your head. You know? I mean, it's that simple. There's something lacking. Oh yeah, the penis, the testosterone, the balls, the stuff the stuff that makes a man is not there. The like, whatever, like 40 pounds of muscle. I mean, you're just missing the aura. You don't understand, like, women. Have you ever like stood next to a very feminine woman and you're just like, wow, that's a woman. Okay? Okay. Have you ever stood next to a guy pretending to be a woman and you're like, wow, wow, that's a guy? Have you ever stood next to a guy who's like a guy? You're like, okay, that's a guy. You ever sit next to a woman pretending to be a guy? You're like, whoa, that's a girl. It just doesn't work. So so there's going to be jokes about this. Now we could be nice. You can still function in society. You can still get a job. You're not going to be you know suffer discrimination. You're going to still be able to take out a bank loan. You're going to still be able to rent a car when you're 25. You're going to still be able to hop on the bus. You're going to still be able to go to the grocery store and pull a Karen or Kevin in your case. I don't know, whatever. It's so confusing. You can still do all the things every other American does in this country. But A comedian's gonna be able to tell some jokes about you, just like a comedian can tell jokes about any other type of person or thing. Like you're not special because you're gendered. You're not special. That means like anyone, anyone can walk up to any comedian when they're on stage and attack them because they told a joke about being a single mom. You told a joke about being a dad. You told a dad joke. You told a joke about being in a relationship. Think about it. Every single thing has been joked about ever in the history of the world. There's been a joke about it. How come? How come the trans one is special? How come that's the triggering one? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. People aren't thinking. You know. I remember I did a stand up act. My grandmother was Jewish. I told a joke because I she was in the Holocaust, and I was like, you know how she survived? She had a day pass. Didn't really go over well. But anyway, I didn't get attacked, but I guess I could now though. And also the joke was she wasn't in the Holocaust. But anyway, she was Jewish though. But like nowadays, I couldn't tell that joke. Well, because well, first off, because most people aren't smart enough to understand the joke. But well, because if they're going to gas the Jews, they're going to gas them during the day. Because at night you need the gas because everyone's using a heater. So if you have a day pass, never mind. Anyway, um, but yeah, so like I would feel uncomfortable telling that joke present day. I really would. I really would. And see, what you're gonna have a comedian because comedians come from all types of backgrounds. Like all walks of life. You're gonna probably have a comedian who actually knows how to like handle shit. You know what I'm saying? And tell a joke on purpose to get people to rush the stage, and someone's gonna end up in the hospital for a couple of months. I can picture a comedian with like a concealed carry permit, tell jokes on purpose just to cap someone. I bet it'll happen. Like this isn't the end of rushing the stage and hitting a comedian or tackling a comedian. What's gonna happen is someone, meaning the person rushing the stage, because security's gonna be beefed up too. Someone is gonna be hospitalized for like 6 months. Like there's gonna be something major happen. You'll see. I guarantee. Well, because it's like I didn't have a show and talk about this, but I knew Dave Chappelle was gonna get rushed though. I knew he was. Um, but yeah, so like you'll see, there's gonna be something really serious happen, and it's gonna make it's gonna be one of those cultural changes. And I do blame Will Smith for this bullshit. See, but at least with this Dave Chappelle guy, like this guy, like charges were pressed against him. You know, charges were pressed against him. God, it's like a name of an escort. But anyway, but enough of that crap. Oh, so there's been more developments from the Roe versus Wade leak. Democrats are really trying to make this an issue. So now Democrats are saying that you can have an abortion during the ninth month of pregnancy. Um, I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Once again, I meant what I said. When it comes to abortion, my stance is apathy. It's a woman's issue. I don't care about women's issues because I'm not a woman. I care about musicians' issues because I'm a musician. I care about single men, like men's rights issue because I'm a man. I care about that, and I care about What else? And I care about our border. I care about those three things. So I care about national security, well, our border, like just our border, musicians' issues, and men's rights. And like my men's rights do not overlap abortion. It's just the woman's body, up to her. I if I got a chick pregnant, because first of all, the men's rights is going to protect me from the child support, because I don't think men, because if a man doesn't want the child, he shouldn't have to pay the child support. So that's why I'm like men's rights I care about. So like I can get 30 chicks pregnant. I'm not paying child support because I just have to say, well, I didn't want it, and she's having it, so I shouldn't have to pay child support. So once again, apathetic when it comes to this abortion, but I do realize, at 9 months having an abortion, um, why not just have the baby? That's like the Democrats have just gone so extreme. Like they've gone so far left that people that were like traditionally left are now on the right, or at least center. You know what I'm saying? Like this is why the Democrats are just gonna get landslided in the upcoming election. I mean, even people who were pro-choice are like, "Well, I don't know about this 9 month thing." I mean, come on, really? What? Hey, whatever. I mean, you do you. But I mean, like, that's that's just another way to lose the party. It's like the defund the police. What are you doing? That the average person's poor, so the average person is affected by your defund police crap. So poor people are, most of them are Democrats. So you're just hurting your base. You're hurting your base, and that's what the Democrats have been hurting their base for the past 6 years. It just and it's going to finally catch up when no one votes for them. Your base is poor people, basically. I mean, like all these Democratic cities, you know, because usually crime goes up in poor places. It's just drugs and crime have devastated Democratic cities. Drugs and crime, and it's all because of your, far left leaning issues. And then like, you've gone crazy on like, trying to make kids gay, and you've done a good job. Like they took a poll. It was like 50% of the younger generation like identifies as like gay or trans or non-binary or furry. Like brainwashing kids actually works. It's like it's the gayest generation ever. And it's because of this leftist bullshit. Like all these policies are just don't work. Like calm down on the extremists, calm down on the identity politics, calm down on the virtue signaling. Okay? I want to fund the police. I want to fund the police. I don't want to I want to funding the police lowers crime. More cops out there the better. I want the I want the general population to be positive when it comes to the police, because the more cause it, I I'm talking to morons. So if it's up to a Democrat, you can have an abortion after the baby's born. There should be no police whatsoever. There should be no jail system. Um, every kid under the age of 6 should be a drag queen. Um, and the rich should be taxed 70%. I mean, that's basically the left. It's not gonna work. I just know. I mean, how many? I mean, defund the police was stupid, and it's just made people. They've done polls. The average American hates that. Okay, okay. Um, the parental rights bill in Florida. The average person doesn't want their kindergartner to be taught about gender identity. I mean, that's just another stupid issue. Now we're gonna have like abortions at 9 months. Wake up. Wake up. You can be pro choice, but you have to be pro choice in a way that you get everyone on your side. There's going to be so many people against abortion at 9 months. I just. Who's in charge of the Democratic Party? It must be a Republican doing all these bad policies on purpose. It's gotta be. It's gotta be an insider going. We're gonna make up some shitty policies, so when the next election comes around, we just landslide. It's gotta be. Or I mean, is this just clown world? I mean, you got some Democrats who are still pushing, wearing masks when there's been so many studies that have come out saying the masks don't work, and there's been the Democrats are just trying to like really divide the population. It's like any policy that has to do with freedom, they take it and they mess it up. They really mess it up. Just like the border. Like, why are you against having a border? We we went from having a border to no border. Like no one likes that, Democrats. No one. No one likes that. Like I get it. We live in the land of the free, but uh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're just gone extremist. But that's what happens when you have extremists in office. Now, granted, you can try to vote these people out, but as we learned from last election, your vote doesn't count. So I don't know. Like hopefully the right people, hopefully the people who were in charge of the last election are in charge of this election, because if it's the same people, good luck. That's why I'm like worried actually, because we saw what happened with the last election, right? You know, the magical votes at midnight, um, uh, 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 dead people voting, votes from empty parking lots. So obviously, you know, last election was a farce. Trump won last election. So if it's the same type of shit, then all hope is just gone. So we'll see what happens. But I've lost all faith in our government. I've lost all faith. Well, I do have faith that they'll fuck shit up though. But I've lost all faith. So um, granted, according to the polls mean nothing, but um, according to all these polls, because you're because like when you have Democratic shills like CNN saying bad stuff, then maybe you could put some you know I guess like a foundation on what they're saying, because they're leftist shills. So like when they start talking bad about the Democratic Party, then maybe they know that they can't fix the votes this time. That's why I'm leaning towards, okay, maybe things will change, because I mean obviously they're on the inside. So, and Elon Musk got to buy Twitter, and Hillary Clinton didn't kill him, which is making me think that the left is losing its corruption power. So maybe this voting cycle will actually be legit. For the first time in a long time, the voting cycle might be legit. Because if this was 4 years ago, Hillary Clinton would have had Elon Musk killed. I bet you. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the first show of season 10. of the When I Have Spare Time podcast, the Lee Seal season. Talk to you later.
Peace.